supposed to rain today?
Yeah, there's like a line coming through, hopefully quickly.
Around lunch or
There's like a little bit of chance up until then and after for a few hours, but we're hoping it just comes straight through.
Gotcha.
I forgot that it's always freezing in here. Should have brought my sweater this morning. Finally got some warm weather outside, semi-warm. And then I come in here, it's freezing.
It's always my hands that are cold in here. I can just rip them off if you want.
Yeah. Damn it.
Who else is coming?
In this couple of meetings, it was like
Sorry.
And like at one point, I think Bill fell asleep. I was wondering, oh God.
I guess y'all are going to do that design in-house or something?
That's TDC.
One man.
I did a conceptual plan way back. Yeah, here's your traffic letter.
Where's the rest of them?
But there was a...
I should have said no also.
I'm assuming TDC is contract out on his continuing engineering services. But you guys are someone to do
I
that.
did a concept plan way back when, but it was more or less for the sale of it.
Yeah.
For
What's going on?
Andy Mac.
Oh, what?
I'm sure it'll move on as soon as I get that machine.
Is it on?
I want to do that for the park. We just sent it yesterday. At Baker Park. We have to do a noise change in RDA.
Yeah, here's one of the ones where, and I didn't even think about the access because I just was like,
Yeah, it was one of those I just happened to see, and I like got the chance. And he was on the group. And if you pull up the aerial, several of them around there have, and I think it's only like 120 feet.
so they do just one drive and then have like, there's their driveway, there's their, and there's their.
You got one entrance, one exit, so it could be like a circular one. But, how we want to do it.
Probably want the back of the buildings up.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do it. We were looking around at like, there was another one, there were several ones that pretty much have 3 homes that come to like a
One point.
condo.
I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of like that whole cross-access thing. The county doesn't ever make people do it. And even because the code says it's been vacant, that's the talk. Because even if you have a parking lot, you just modify it to... I mean, especially, 98. I mean, look at it, people just, it's and so if I pull in here to go to the bank, and then I want to go eat lunch, and I can just cut through,
It makes sense.
I want to go 2 driveways down, I gotta whip back in.
We were down around Donut Hole, chances were around Donut Hole, I don't know about 30 Avenue, 30, whatever it's called. 38 and
Something like
that.
Is that what it is? I would say 30 Avenue.
Yeah, it's like 30 Avenue. I've been correct on it like 3 times, so I think it's like 38 Avenue, but
Makes sense. That's better than 30 Avenue.
but they absolutely refuse to connect. That would make sense. Drop your people get a car.
Right. Especially people in the summertime, they want to go there for breakfast. And, they don't get up.
I forget which project it was, but one of you made a comment.
It made perfect sense, but I just
But see, we even, like Marion County, even if you didn't construct, you had to provide an easement for future, when the county would come in and say, all right, we're gonna connect these driveways, or these, park drive aisles.
It makes sense.
But it makes it tough though, because if you have, somebody who develops and they don't care, they put the parking out front, and then somebody over here wants to put the parking in the rear to get the 20% reduction and all that. Now,
It's gonna control it.
how do you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of too far down the road a little bit.
It would take a little plan, you know, by the time now it's kind of piecing it
Now,
together.
right, and it's
Trying to
hard.
make it work.
Yeah, and it's hard.
Yeah.
You can't,
Yeah.
especially some, guy who's been there since 1985 who doesn't really have the money to do any kind of modification. He's just like, I built your great.
I'm not doing it in a different, yeah. I think it would have helped 98 a lot,
Oh yeah.
especially in some of those areas.
At Walton County, there just wasn't any foresight, like pre-planned.
It was a boom, and then it just,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the fact that they didn't have comp plan or low, it was just like,
Playing catch up all the time.
it was like, my brother wants to do this, I'm gonna let him do it.
Yeah.
He's been a resident all his life.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what Freeport's about to get into.
Well, remember the stormwater manual?
Yeah. That's coming.
It doesn't exist, but there's so much interest in Freeport. You get emails all the time, so we're changing it.
That needed to be done. That was something that's really done. So, it's something that we had. Creativity and everything. We just referenced to the positions.
Right, and
We
then
figured it out.
and then even all those right now reference like old applicant, like old DOT manual. We got to update all that, and then the cash and move. People have been trying to use that. Well, it's a misinterpretation though, because it's if the city built a regional stormwater system, here's my pond, building it for anything that develops over here. As you put your stormwater in there, then you pay to use it. But people think, oh, I just pay it and then just let it run off. That wasn't the intent, even though it's misleading.
Yeah, until sometimes they stuff to the highway, for the county highway. I was the only one that had it, 60 something units.
They're booming there.
That was weird. I think it was 20 years ago that there was next year.
We gotta get that plant built. Ben?
The lift station across from my house went out first week in the year. Popping up at the home.
Yeah, I don't understand why it takes so long to get all this stuff. Yeah, should. There's only one. All by that pump going wrong. Ben, did you hurt yourself?
Car wreck, broke my femur. And
That's where
fractured
you
my ankle. Yeah. I was out, caught out sick.
Good morning. This is the February 7th Walton County Technical Review Committee meeting. Welcome. We have minutes from the previous meeting to consider. Do we have any corrections to those minutes for the January 3rd meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Got a motion by Sammy,
Second.
second by Anna. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carried, the minutes are approved. Thank you. We'll move, do we have any announcements this morning, Karen? Okay, thank you. We'll move right into our agenda. We have a number of requests to continue, so we're going to go ahead and deal with those right now. Item number 1, development at 30A, event venue, lesson minor. We have requests from the stakeholders to continue their discussion about compatibility measures to the next TRC meeting on March 7th.
March 7th?
Let's make sure that is the right date.
I think you're right. 6th.
It's March 7th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did we vote?
Did we make a motion?
Okay, we have a motion to continue to March 7th. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise?
Motion to continue. Yeah.
Next item, Alderberry, item number 2. We have a request from the applicant to continue this to March 7th. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Continue.
Sammy,
Second.
second by Ben. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carried. This item is continued to March 7th. The next item, Greenway Station PUD, formerly known as Midgrove Center PUD. We have a request from staff to continue this item to March 7th. The applicant concur with that?
We had the recent bill coming in today. We asked if there's not any outstanding comments or questions, that we go ahead and proceed on to planning commission.
Given we haven't had a chance to review the resubmittal, we probably need to continue this to the next meeting. It's my understanding that those comments have been addressed. So it's a matter of just confirming that and acknowledging that. I wouldn't have a problem if we went ahead and scheduled this for planning commission, subject to clearing
So it
TRC
should
next month.
potentially, it could be on the March planning commission.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
We have a motion to continue to March 7th, or do we have a motion to continue to March 7th?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is continued to next month. That brings us to the item number 4, the Commerce Park. I'm sorry. Item number 4, Commerce Park Site Plan Amendment. We have a request to continue that to March 7th.
Motion to continue?
We have a motion by Sammy,
Second.
second by Ben. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed likewise? Motion approved. That brings us to item number 5, which is the Watercolor Beach Club expansion. Renee, can you introduce this project for us?
Yes, sir. This is requested approved by development order, submitted by Interlight Engineering on behalf of Watercolor Community, requesting approval to extend existing activities at the Watercolor Beach Club, 3 plus or minus 0.81 acres. With the future land use court ordered overlay, the project is located on Goldenrod Circle and is identified by parcel 15-3 south. I believe that's 18, there's an error on that parcel ID number. Staff had very minor questions on this project. There was, on the electronic survey was not the correct one that was placed into our electronic file, so I don't know if that was part of the submittal was an issue or if there was something else for that. We did request that we get FUP applications for any new boardwalks. And we wanted some height information. And we wanted the parking clarified. There is a couple of environmental review comments as well, site lighting. And also to notify that this is in the white sands protection on the
Comments from the applicant?
Good morning. I'm David Smith with Interline Engineering, and I've reviewed the staff report, and I agree with Renee. The comments are minor, so I have no questions, unless you have questions of me.
Okay. Renee, do we have a recommended motion?
I recommend that we move this project forward to the development order stage, being that this is a minor development order once all comments have been satisfied.
We have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
Motion by Ben. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sammy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This motion carries. It's approved subject to satisfaction of comments and move to development order.
Thank you.
This brings us to item number 6, the Point Washington F814C cell tower. Request to approve by final order. Renee, can you introduce this project?
Yes, sir. This is a major development order, which is also a conditional use submitted by Matthews and Jones. Dana Matthews on behalf of Value Concepts Incorporated, Buddy Robinson Jr. and St. Joe Land Company. Requesting approval to construct a 300-foot cell tower. The project's located on the north of US Highway 988. It's on approximately 0.25 acres with future land use village center for the Walton Bay sector plan. We have very minor comments on this project. Additionally, they have hinted a resubmittal to me this morning that should satisfy most of the planning comments. I understand that there was one comment from the fire department that they're also having to address. Staff doesn't have anything else on this project.
Any comments from the applicant?
Stephen Tatum from Matthews and Jones. We have no comments aside from, I think Sammy had the comment about the driveway, and we're going to get with him. Our engineer will get with him, make sure that he has the info he wants on the driveway. We have extended it to 15 feet as requested. I'm not sure what other info he wants to see, so our engineer will get with you. And aside from that, we have nothing else.
Okay. Given that this particular project is bounded by federal FCC rules regarding the approval process by local government, it's my recommendation that we move this forward to the Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of these comments and certainly satisfaction of the fire marshal's comments. Would that be your recommendation?
Yes, sir.
We have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Sammy, second by Ben. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of comments. That brings us to item number 7, the Sandestin Boutique Hotel. And this has been reviewed by Renee. Could you introduce this one for us?
Yes, sir. This is a major development order application submitted by Emerald Coast Associates on behalf of Sandestin Investments. Requesting approval to construct a 252-room hotel. The project's located on the northwest intersection of Baytown Village Drive and Legend Creek Drive within the Sandestin Development Regional Impact in a future land use and coastal center. We had a couple of questions on the survey, a few questions on the application, one of those being where the additional parking spaces were located. There's no major questions for planning. Everything should be easily satisfied. We didn't have any engineering comments on this project. We have our standard conditions from environmental on here. That's all staff has.
Comments from the applicant?
Good morning, Dean Burgess with Emerald Coast Associates. I have read through the staff report and didn't really have any questions. I do know on comment 8 that the architect has coordinated with you on the plans. Did you need do you already have the architectural plans, or do you need us to submit them with our response? Okay. All right. But that comment was addressed as far as the clarifying the number of rooms. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Dean. Renee, do we have a recommended motion?
I would recommend a motion that this move forward to the planning commission.
So moved.
Motion by Ben, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Anna. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This item is moved forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction comments. That brings us to item number 8, the Sacred Heart Medical Office Building at Watersound Origins. Request approved by final order, and this has been reviewed by Renee. And could you introduce this one for us?
This is a major development order application submitted by the Watersound Company LLC requesting approval to construct 13,210 square feet medical center to be built in phases. Phase 1 containing 6,600 plus or minus feet, and phase 2 the same. The project's located approximately 1,700 foot from the intersection of Watersound Parkway and Highway 98, and identified by parcel number 263 South 18, 16,001 and 0030, as well as 16,001 on approximately 2.81 acres with future land use of town center for the Bay Walton sector plan. Our biggest question on this project was having a boundary survey on this project to show whether it is actually adjacent to US Highway 98 and to clarify the acreage and the parcel identification. If this project was adjacent to US Highway 98, it would have to be go to the DRB. So therefore, it's very important that we get some clarification on the parcel information through the survey. We have a lot of standard questions on the survey: boundary, legal description, acreage, correct flood zone, benefit of title opinion. Well, also the front of the property should be the shortest road frontage, would not be the way they've got it located on their plans. We need a revised water sewer letter, and I would like for them to clarify the square footage for the outside walls of the building footprint. There's quite a few environmental questions as well. That's all I have for the board at this time.
Thank you, Renee. Do we have comments from the applicant?
Yeah, I can. Mike Harper, Buchanan and Harper. I agree that the biggest comment is probably the boundary survey, but as St. Joe owns all the surrounding parcel, and this parcel is not for sale, it will be a leased product. The one question we had was whether or not we really need a boundary survey or just a sketch, a description, a legal description, and a drawing that shows the location of the part of the property identified and associated with this. We can do it either way. Obviously, a sketch, a description is simpler. But we can do the boundary survey and do title work if that's what is necessary. But that would be one question we have. And I don't know that you really want to try to make that answer today. But,
And I'm not.
But
I'm not
I just,
going to.
you know, I think it is something that we could consider. You know, the only other question we really had was there was a comment. Most of the comments are relatively minor. Would you agree? Yes. The only other comment or question that I had was there was a comment referencing the NPDES report, and I wasn't sure if the comment was just asking that we make sure that that be provided prior to commencement of construction, or you? Okay. And then other than that, most of the environmental comments were concerning stormwater. And this property is subject to an existing stormwater permit, and I think some of the reviewers didn't quite understand that, but most of them are minor. And it would be our preference that it go ahead and be placed on the agenda. We can get all the information back to you, you know, next week, and you would have it in time to review. If for whatever reason we don't, then you could pull it, but that would be what we would like to do, proceed forward.
Okay, if I may, on the, being that this is questioned about going to the DRB, being adjacent to 98, even though it's 700 foot from that, does that make us require a survey and division of this property to disconnect it from 98?
I think that's probably something we need to seek some legal counsel on later this morning.
If it is an issue that would cause us to be delayed, I think you would prefer to just go ahead and do the boundary survey, is that not correct?
Absolutely.
So if, Renee, if you think it would be something that would create, a delay, we can just go ahead and do the boundary survey, get the title work done. We can have a boundary survey, we think next week, end of next week.
Well, we have to make advertising deadlines, so your resubmittal would have to be in time for me to actually review it and say that everything's
Understand.
complete for us to make the March meeting.
Okay,
So that, that puts you in a really short timeline. And
Understood.
It gives you within 10 days, and it gives me less than that if you get it in within 10 days, to make that advertisement. But if I can get my hands on it in time to see that we can check off all the boxes, then we would schedule you.
What-
I don't have
okay.
a problem with that.
what day would you be comfortable getting all the information?
I don't have a calendar set in front of me. If you
Okay.
can get it back in the middle.
I can answer that question. 7 days from today.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's consistent with Land Development Code on resubmittals at TRC.
understood.
I did have a question. How many parking spaces?
There's 107.
That's close. Does that meet our 7 per 1,000 square foot standard for medical office?
Yes.
Okay. This is a very large parking lot that is going to be illuminated and is likely to create some night glow, which is a very bad thing in South Walton. We did not get a lighting plan submitted with this, so we can't evaluate what the proposed lighting is. But here's my recommendation. The Design Review Board is going to be making recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners to amend lighting in Walton County. And one of the things that they're going to propose is that light poles be limited to 14 feet in height in order to, with full cutoff fixtures appropriately, in order to limit the amount of night glow. And that affects how many poles you've got to have to get proper illumination in the parking lot. We would like to see y'all voluntarily move toward what the Design Review Board is going to recommend to the Board of County Commissioners as a show of good faith on this particular project. Is that something that you could consider?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, and our county and our public will also. With that said, and subject to the outstanding comments, Renee, are you comfortable moving this forward
Yes,
with the conditions that we've described?
yes, sir. And I've written the additional comment about the pole lantern. We will make sure that's addressed as well in the lighting plan.
Okay. Do we have a recommended motion?
I would recommend the motion being amended as for the planning commission being that resubmittals in time that it can be reviewed.
Okay, we have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion?
Motion by Ben. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Sammy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to Planning Commission, subject to the conditions and satisfaction comments.
Just out of curiosity, this is not a TRC question. What type of medical facility is it? Do you know?
Do I have to answer that, huh?
It's just gonna be more of a urgent care type facility. No ER.
But urgent care, walk-ins?
Walk-in clinic, that's correct.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Item number 9, Mercy Multiplied Women's Center. Request approved by final order. This has been reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob, could you introduce this one for us?
Yes, sir. This is a major development order application submitted by Jenkins Engineering on behalf of Mercy Multiplied, requesting approval to develop approximately 22-room women's center and associated infrastructure improvements on 11.660 acres, plus or minus, with future land use of village mixed use. The project is located east of Old Ferry and south of Coochie Road. It is identified by the parcel shown. The comments, there are some minor comments from every department pretty much on this. I don't see anything that would cause a massive delay to proceed. Also, this project, the applicant was sent the DRB comments, so we expect a unified response back when we get it. The DRB, it'll go to the DRB, and then it will move to the Planning Commission.
Comments from the applicant?
Scott Jenkins with Jenkins Engineering. We got the staff report. I think everything's pretty simple as far as the comments go. We have to provide some turning radius movements and things, but nothing that should be a major issue for us to handle, so we really don't have any questions about any of it.
Do we have a recommended motion?
I'd like to make a recommended motion of conditional approval pending successful resubmittal in the DRB comments, and then successful approval from the DRB, then move to the Planning Commission.
Okay, do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
Motion by Sammy, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ben. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Subject to satisfaction of comments, this will move to the Design Review Board.
Thank you.
That's the next step. Thank you, Bob. This brings us to item number 10, South Walton Commerce Park, Lot 13, request approved by final order, and this has been reviewed by Bob Arante also. Bob, could you introduce this project?
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is the major development order applications bid over by Muller Engineering Incorporated on behalf of Peddlers 38 LLC for construction of 3 buildings for business park uses, a gazebo, asphalt parking, and stormwater facility with future land use of business park on 1.55 acres. The project is located approximately 0.7 miles on Sonora Road from the intersection of Sonora Road and US Highway 98. This project, looks familiar. You've seen it before. There were some changes done to the building. It's coming back and it's ready to move through the process. All comments have pretty much been addressed, and there's no outstanding issues.
Okay, comments from the applicant?
Blake Furby with Gordmall Engineering, and we don't have any comments at this time.
Thank you. We have a recommended motion, Bob.
Make a recommendation to continue this project on to the Planning Commission.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve to move forward to the Planning Commission. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This will move forward to the Planning Commission as its next step. That brings us to page 3. The Dunellen Regional Beach Access Small Scale Amendment, request approved by ordinance. This has been reviewed by Bob Arante also.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Walton County TDC, on behalf of the Walton County Board of County Commissioners, is requesting the future land use change from neighborhood infill to parks and recreation on 1.22 plus or minus acres. The project is located from US Highway 98 and North Watersound Park. The proposed amendment to the comprehensive plan future land use map provides for an orderly and logically development pattern of the neighborhood and does not contravene the goals and objectives of the Walton County Comprehensive Plan. As you know, that this is a much needed beach access point, and there is no outstanding comments on this small scale amendment.
Thank you, Bob. And I guess we are the applicant, or we're standing in for the applicant. Do you have a recommended motion?
I'd like to recommend to continue this small-scale amendment on to the planning commission.
And we have a recommended motion to approve this item and move it forward to planning commission. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
Motion by Sammy,
Second?
second by Ben. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is moved forward to planning commission.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
That brings us to item number 12, the Peach Creek Phase 5 plat. Request to approve by final plat. This has been reviewed by Tim Brown.
Yes, good morning. This is a plat application submitted by Interlight Engineering requesting approval to develop 53 single-family lots on 18.42 acres, with a future land use of conservation 2-1. It's located east of Old Ferry Road and south of Coochie Road. This is the last phase of Peach Creek. Really, there's just minor comments from planning and public works. Nothing that would hold it up.
Any comments from the applicant?
I'm David Smith with Interlight Engineering. I've reviewed the staff report and agree with Tim. The comments are minor, so I have no further questions.
And the proposed plat is consistent with the approved development order.
Yes, well, once all comments have been addressed.
Subject to comment satisfaction. Do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, recommend approving the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments and move it forward to the Board of County Commissioners.
We have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
Motion by Anna,
Second?
second by Ben. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carried. This will move forward to the Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you.
That brings us to item number 13, the new Bama Steel 2, request approved by final order, and this has also been reviewed by Tim Brown. Could you introduce this one for us, Tim?
Yes, thank you. This is a major development order application submitted by Choctaw Engineering, requesting approval to develop a 7,500 square foot commercial warehouse building with an associated infrastructure on 0.67 acres with a future land use of business park. It's located on the south side of Serenoa Road, north of US Highway 98 East in the Commerce Park. There's outstanding comments from planning, engineering. Looks like that's it, planning and engineering. The comments are relatively minor. Most of the comments bring it into compliance with the PUD requirements. So I don't see anything that would hold this project up at this time.
Comments from the applicant?
Yes, my name is James Armstrong, representing Choctaw Engineering. I had a couple of questions. I just want to clarify a few things if we could. Your first comment here, we're asking for us to put the flood requirements on our site plan. Is there something specific you're looking for there? Because I believe we included our flood requirements in the actual submittal package. I'm going to say building setbacks.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing would be, and some of my comments address the landscaping and the dumpster. Those are requirements straight out of the PUD. So we'd like to see, this is what the PUD allows on one side. This is what we're proposing on the other side.
Okay.
So you've got the setbacks, that's already on there, but the landscaping and the dumpster are not.
Would we be able to put the landscaping requirements on our landscape plan?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah.
That'd be preferred? Okay. Speaking of that dumpster, you mentioned there's an 8-foot minimum. Could you elaborate on what you're asking for there?
I'm sorry, say that.
You said comment 6, dumpster enclosure to match the nearest architectural surface at a minimum of 8 feet.
Yeah, that's in the PUD.
Okay.
That's the fence, the screening's a minimum of 8 feet high.
Oh, okay.
That's the screening.
Understood. I didn't understand what the 8 feet was actually asking for.
And it also actually has some examples of the architectural surface. It has stucco, brick, lattice, split face, because I mean, this is a metal building, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you read that in the PUD, it gives those three examples of the enclosure. They don't want to just plain wood like most of our dumpster.
I mean, we've done a few developments in this area. We haven't, I believe we did all the dumpster closures as wood before without running into any issues.
Apparently we weren't aware of these PUD requirements. That's straight out of the PUD.
Okay, well, we'll look into it and see what we can make happen.
I mean, this may make yours the nicest dumpster okay, screaming in the Commerce Mart.
Let's see, I wanted to clarify comment 5 here on the 5-foot yard setback for landscaping. Is that just directly adjacent to the parking spaces themselves, or is that the perimeter of the parking lot?
It's the whole side, but the trees are adjacent to parking.
Okay.
The shrubs and the hedge and the turf grass is the whole length of the side yard on either side. There's a graphic in the PUD that outlines this, but the trees, the canopy trees, are required only along the parking.
Okay. So you only want the trees there, but the bush, you're saying the shrubs can be placed throughout the property. They don't have to be specifically adjacent to the parking lot?
Not specifically, but it's required the whole length of the side yard.
And when you say side yard, are you talking about the property line itself?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to clarify. So that would be I believe that would be the western property line?
And the eastern property.
Oh, so it's both property lines?
Yes.
Okay.
The graphic in the PUD shows both sides.
Okay. When it comes to other comments here, the question regarding the fire. You had a comment saying here the driving distance to the closest fire hydrant.
Yes, sir.
I noticed, I believe we called out that distance on our actual plans. I believe, are you looking for us to put an additional fire hydrant closer to the site?
Well, I didn't see it, so if I missed it, I apologize, but as
Oh,
long as it's within 500 feet from the hydrant to really the back of the structure.
Okay, if you, I don't know if you have a copy of this sheet in front of you, if you look at the sheet.
I do not, but we can talk offline on that.
Okay, yeah, I have it here if you want to look, I can show you afterwards if you'd like to see it.
Okay.
That shows it. I don't believe I have any further comments at this time.
Okay. Do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, recommend approving the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments and moving forward to the plan.
Okay, we have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion of the dais?
Motion?
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Sammy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item moves forward to Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to item number 14, Waterfalls by the Bay Conceptual PUD, and we have a request from the applicant to continue this item to March 7. Do we have a motion? to adopt?
Motion to continue.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second to continue this item to the March 7th TEP Review Committee meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is continued to March 7th. That brings us to item number 15, the Bay Shore Townhomes, request to approve by minor development order. This project's been reviewed by Tim Brown.
Yes, thank you. This is a major development or application submitted by Choctaw Engineering requesting approval to develop 3 townhomes on 0.4 acres with future land use of coastal center. It's located at 317 Bayshore Drive. This was continued from last month, and we have since received a resubmittal, so there's only minor comments remaining.
traffic comments.
Do we have, is this one on the planning commission?
Yes, but we are going to continue it because the ads had to go to the newspaper. We
Didn't have resubmittal yet?
Right.
Okay.
So we had really no choice but to do a memo to ask to continue. I mean, as it turns out, it probably could have went forward, but when the ad went out, we didn't know that.
Do we have a recommended motion?
You want to?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to talk about the Public Works comment here addressing the combined use driveway.
Yes.
And my understanding of it is that these were to be divided into single lots and each would have their own individual driveway. I'm trying to, I could see this being applicable to a commercial development in a mixed use area. And can I get some clarification on that, please?
Well, if you look at the surrounding area, we did take a look at it, and based on the aerials, there are other single-family residential that have like 3 lots that share a common driveway, and I think the frontage on this parcel is a little over 100 foot.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 driveways within that area is not great as far as traffic circulation. You can look, I think the Land Development Code does say you can have one entrance, one exit, so you might want to look at like a circular drive or something. But 3 would, I don't see how 3 meets that particular section of Land Development Code.
Okay. And I know I did some looking into the adjacent developments myself, and I found a lot split here done back in 2015 for 5 lots that was in the same kind of situation with each individual driveways themselves. I believe this is on South Wall Street subdivision.
Okay.
So
we can take a look at it. The ones we looked at, I think it had, there was 2 areas where they had 3 single-family homes, and they come to a common point and then had 1 access point. So we can take a look
can I
at
get
it.
a reference for these are so I can get an idea of what you are looking for then?
I would have to pull it up on an aerial. I don't
Okay.
have addresses on me or anything.
Understood.
But yeah, we can sit down and talk about it if you'd like to.
Okay. I believe did we not get a survey resubmitted to the planning department?
No, the request, the letter responding to our comments indicated see revised survey, but when you look at the transmittal letter, what you actually turned in, it's not there, and we didn't get one.
Yeah, we actually, I remember we submitted it originally and brought it in separately. It may have just got lost in the confusion.
Perhaps, but I didn't have one, so that's why that comment's there, because the original one that came in was 11 by 17.
Correct, yeah, and y'all need 24 by 36. Yes, I remember that. Okay.
When I went through what was provided to me,
It just wasn't, it never made it to you? Okay. No, I'll get to work on that, see what I can make happen. I don't have any further questions at the time then.
but so you know, we will be requesting continuance of the planning commission
Okay.
tomorrow, I guess, tomorrow.
That should give us time to get these items addressed prior to March Planning Commission.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't see that being a problem.
Okay. Do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, thank you. Recommend approving the project pending resolution of all outstanding comments / issues / comments and moving it forward to the planning commission.
To include the Public Works comments related to driveway and,
Yes.
okay. Yes, ma'am, we have a technical question. From you, Coy.
Coy Bowman, B-O-W-M-A-N. This piece of land is a conservation easement, so it shouldn't be built on at all. And the previous one that you were talking about, you didn't ask if the public had any questions, but the previous one is timberland, so it can't be built on either. As a matter of fact, when I went through these last night, almost none of them can be built on. So I don't know why you're discussing all of this, because most of this is my timberland, my railroad land, and it's Indian land, so you can't build on any of it. But this one in particular says right here on the property appraiser's website that it is a conservation easement, and the locals are sick of seeing you destroying our conservation easements.
I'll assure you, we're not destroying any conservation easement.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, ma'am.
It's all over. I've lived here my whole life, okay? So I have been watching it my whole life. Don't tell me you're not destroying conservation easements, because you are.
Thank you for your comments. Recommended motion.
Approve this project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments and moving forward to the planning commission.
All right, we have a recommended motion. We have a motion of the dais.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise?
Nay.
Thank you. This item is moved forward to Planning Commission subject to outstanding comment satisfaction.
Thank you.
That is the end of our agenda this morning. Thank you for attendance and attention. Stand adjourned.
I always look forward to that entertainment.
I thought that was for me.